to Montreal in Real Life. I'm Montreal, and thank you so much for tuning into my videos and for giving me the space to share my knowledge, my healing journey, and thank you so much for your support. This week has been such a feat for me. Sometimes these videos are hard for me because I have to kind of go back and recount things that I experienced, as well as do research on information that I want to give. So sometimes it feels like I'm constantly bogged down by this topic, and so I just need to take a little break this week, but I am back and I'm ready to share some stuff with you. And just a disclaimer, just in case you don't make it to the description down below, these are not instructions on what exactly you should do if you're in this situation. These are just information about traits and characteristics of narcissistic personality disorder, as well as my experience and some things that personally helped me, and I'm sharing them with you. I am not a licensed psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything. I have my bachelor's in anthropology and classical studies, as well as my master's in legal studies. I am currently getting my certificate for domestic violence prevention and response, but that is the extent of my credentials, and yeah, so just so you know. So hopping into today's topic, I was really just in this place where I was mulling over all the things that I experienced and just how outrageous they were. In my mind, some of the things I can't even fully comprehend. I'm having difficulty in this process in my healing stage because I can't even comprehend a lot of the things. My mind just won't go there, and so I started doing some digging, some research on, is this similar to being a sociopath? And in my research I found it's not necessarily horrible to be a sociopath, okay? I used to think serial killers, they must be sociopaths, but that's not true. Not every serial killer is a sociopath, and not every sociopath is a serial killer. But when I think of sociopath, it is stigmatized to be this kind of very inhumane, unfeeling person. And I was like, well, that sounds like a narcissist. Literally a lot of the things I've been seeing in my research in these groups I'm in for support and also for information always come, these things, they're very sociopathic in a way. And so I was like, okay, what is the difference between being a narcissistic abuser and being a sociopath? Now, just to clarify, again, I mentioned in one of my earlier videos high conflict personality versus narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic abuse. Wow, that was a long title, but that narcissistic abuse is an extreme trait of narcissistic personality disorder, and not saying that narcissistic personality disorder is closely related to sociopathy. The degree of narcissism that is exhibited by a narcissistic abuser, however, has a lot of similarities, I found, to someone who is sociopathic. So I'll just go ahead and tell you these traits below. Well, actually, let me just tell you what the difference is. Just because, maybe you're just tuning into this video real quick, let me just get you the information right away. The narcissistic abusers and sociopaths literally have every single trait in common except for one distinguishing factor, and that is the narcissism. That is in the name, and that is the only distinguishing fact. So that means that the narcissist actually cares about what others think of them. They want to be perceived as good. Even though they know what they're doing is bad, they want people to think that what they're doing is good. So that's basically the only factor that's different. A sociopath doesn't care either way. If you like them or not, they're going to do what they want to do, but a narcissist is going to do what they want to do and then say, well, you still have to like me. So there you go. So getting into the list of traits that they have in common, both a sociopath and a narcissist have a good sense at picking out people to manipulate. So they have a good sense of being able to prey on people who are more willing to give them time, who are willing to help them, They are also both very good at mirroring those people. You may or may not know that one of the traits of sociopathy is that they mimic human emotions and human behavior. Not to say that they're not human. I don't know, that's just how like the information was written. But that is the same with a narcissist. They mirror, they mimic the empathy and the love and the happiness that other people exhibit around them. The narcissist and the sociopath both lack empathy, which is part of why they need to mirror it, because they just don't have it. And, you know, it's like wild. I was thinking the other day on this, you know, empathy, and I don't know if it's because I'm empathetic or because I'm sane or because I have some other spiritual connection, but the idea of physically harming someone, even just the thought of it actually physically makes me ill. My mind can't actually go to that place without feeling disturbed, feeling unsettled, and like something isn't right. So whatever that feeling is that stops people from hurting each other or for feeling bad about it, the sociopath and the narcissist don't have that. They're not regular in this sense, alright? Narcissist will go even out of their way to harm you. Narcissist wants the harm to appear good. So it goes back to that discrepancy that the narcissist wants to be liked, wants validation, needs validation. The narcissist will hurt you and then demand that you validate those actions as something that you deserved. Whereas a sociopath doesn't care. They're just going to hurt you and leave, probably. They also both have the inability to feel remorse. They have disregard for social rules or norms, as well as a major disregard for the rights of others. And one more commonality that I might have mentioned before for a narcissist, but it also listed under a sociopath, is that their harm or abuse isn't necessarily going to be obvious. They may not even commit any crimes or do anything that's criminally obvious, but they can still be just as abusive verbally, emotionally, psychologically. They play a type of game with you that just is perplexing to me. Like again, I can't even like make my mind go to that like stage of psychopathy where I like will think to do this to someone. But alas, there are these people out here. I personally think that a narcissistic abuser is more evil and more dangerous because of the fact that our society does enable their behaviors. We tolerate it in a different way that we would not tolerate the behaviors of someone who is a sociopath and harming others. And it's like, another discrepancy that I just thought of, which is also related to the first one, is the sense of superiority a narcissist feels. So like I said, it's in their name. So they need validation as a narcissist, and they also need to feel superior as a narcissist. Whereas a sociopath doesn't care if they feel superior or beneath or whatever. It's just very like neutral and, you know, this is like what I'm doing. A narcissist wants to feel superior. And that, I think, is the part that is tolerated in our society, this sense of entitlement, elitism, and superiority that we give to certain demographics. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to get into a whole debate right now, but heterosexual cis white men, and those are the people who in our society have historically had a superiority problem. So, you know, we still allow it in various other ways. And I'll do another video at some point with more statistics and information about demographics, gender, race, income level, etc. It's just like a lot. That's like a lot of information. It's like data, and I'm not a data analyst. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I really appreciate the support, especially because sometimes this could feel like it's just boxing me into always having to be around this kind of information. But I really appreciate everyone who's been reaching out to me with kind messages and showing me just love and support, and I love and support you too. I'm happy that we can go on this journey of information and healing together.